Hi, my name is Henwan Wong, and today I'm going to introduce a board game that I made. And why I decided to make this board game is because I really liked video games, but my mom didn't like me playing video games, so I decided to make my own game, which is right here. Um, so basically, I went to a game design class at first and made a game there, which was not very successful because there were way too much stuff in there. You had like about 20 soldiers in one side, and you had to move each of them like once every turn. So it took like 5 minutes every single turn for someone to do something, and it was kind of a failure because of that. The second one I made with a classmate, it kind of had the same mistake. There were like 6 numbers that you had to manage every turn, and there was way too much math involved, so that was not very fun. So this is my third game, and so far I like it. It's going pretty well so far. And what this game is about is getting from one side of the board to the other. And how you do that is you basically place walls to block your opponent to make sure that they don't get to the other side before you do, because that's how you win the game. And how you place walls is a bit more complicated because you actually need to use a coordinate grid system. For example, I have two cards here, a 3 and an 8, that match the coordinates on the board. The board is an 8 by 10 rectangle. There's 80 squares in all, and you will find numbers in the deck of cards right here that match the coordinates. For example, there's a 3 and an 8. These are coordinates of the wall that you're going to place. And the 3 might represent like 3 and 8 right here. 3 and 8 right here. But that's only for me, and it's already 2 places you can place this wall. So basically, because the other person or your opponent playing against you uses a different set of coordinates than they can place 2 different places for these walls. For them, because they use this system, 8 and 10, you can place 3, 8 as 3, 8. And 3, 8. Which is 4 different places you can place walls just based on 3 and 8. There's also other cards in this game like Destroy, where you can destroy walls with this. It also uses the coordinate system. So say you have a wall on 5, 6. You can't destroy it using 3A and a destroy. You can only destroy a wall on 3A with a 3A plus a destroy. And then there's also freeze, where you can freeze your enemy. Okay, let's say for a moment that you are right here, and then your opponent is 1 step from victory. So now, in this case, you can use freeze to freeze your opponent. This freeze card basically disables their movement so that they can't move. And then you walk forward. It's their turn. They can't move this turn because they've been frozen. And then next turn, it's your turn again, and then you win. So that's how freeze works. And then there's knockback. Knockback knocks your opponent back 1 square. Unless their back is a wall, in which case they would just move sideways. But most of the time, knockback can knock them back farther away from their destination, which will allow you to get there quicker. And there's also a possibility where you can do this. Your opponent is right here, in between these 2 walls, okay? You knock them back, and then place a wall in front of them. Now they have to go the long way around. So that's how knockback is used. You can also trade cards with opponent, which enables you to trade your entire hand with your opponent, thus messing up their plans, because you might have just taken every single card that they needed for their plan to be complete. And yeah, that also kind of has a chance of messing up your plans because you might be trading all the cards that you need for all the cards that they need. So yeah. Or maybe you just gave them all of the cards that they need to complete their goal. So it's kind of risk playing this card. the trade cards with opponent. And then you can also add a character for your side using the add one character card. The add one character card is good because it's kind of obvious. Having another character on your side would be better than having just one. And then there's also wild cards like this. Oh yeah, this is the add one character card, by the way. And there's also wild cards like this. There's wild cards like these with a number on them. These wild cards can represent any coordinate with the number on them. For example, this 9 has a 9 coordinate, and the other can be anything else. For example, this 9 can be 9-1, 9-2, 9-3, 9-4, etc. And the 10 can be 10-1, 10-2, 10-3. But like these are only for the 9 wild and 10 wilds. The other wilds are actually better. For example, the 4 wild, because this side also has a 4, but this side doesn't have a 9 or a 10. So this side can also do 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, up to 4-9, 4-10. So that's how wild card works. And then there's also a character card, which everyone gets one at the start of the game. There's 6 in total, which means that you can play this game with up to 6 people. The minimum is 2, because you have to have an opponent. And then how this card works is there are stats on it. The energy, the amount of cards you can draw per turn, and the speed. The energy is kind of complicated because every single card has its own energy value. This card needs 3. This card needs 5. So basically, every turn you can spend this amount of energy. So for an example, you can spend a 3 and 2 1s, like this. And then that would be all you can do this turn. The amount of cards you can draw per turn is kind of obvious why it's good, because if you get more cards per turn, say, you have a higher chance of finding something that you might actually need. And then the speed is how many squares you can walk per turn. For example, a person with speed 1 might do this when they have a wall. They might just move sideways. But if you have speed 2, boom, now your opponent does not have any chance to block you in this turn. Yeah, that's basically the character cards. But the stats are not permanent because you can change them with the store. The store has cards like Steal an Opponent, Equipment. This is something called an equipment. This adds 2 cards to the amount of cards you can draw per turn. And how you set up the store is at the start of every round, you grab 3 cards from the top of the deck. It's a deck of 30 cards, and you place them face up. These are the things that are on sale. You can buy these using energy. This costs 4 energy. And it gives you 1 additional energy to spend per turn. And basically what these do are they increase your stats to a point where you can beat your enemy more easily. And to arm these, you have to buy them in 1 turn using 4 mana, which is what this costs. Put it into your hand, and then next turn you have to arm it with another 4 mana, which is what this costs. So it takes 2 turns to arm these, but they're worth it because with 1 additional energy per turn, you can actually do way more. For example, if you only have 5 energy, you can knock someone back, but you can't place a block in front of them. But with an additional energy, you can actually knock them back and place a block in front of them in the same turn, which is helpful. If the store has too many too expensive things that no one can buy because no one has 6 energy yet, then you can refresh the store by discarding everything that is on sale right now, and then drawing 3 new cards so that people can buy it. And that's how the store works, and that's also how this game works. So basically that's this game. It's about getting from one side of the board to the other. It's a really simple game. It takes about 1 hour to play. It's for up to 6 people, And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.